fellow readers. Today I'm going to be talking about Ascendance of a Bookworm, and I'm actually going to sort of touch on both the first volume of the manga and the first volume of the light novel, but the main focus is more probably the light novel. You may remember that, or not, you can go back in the ancient first year of my channel. I actually covered the anime of Ascendance of a Bookworm, but I never got around to reading these or starting to read it until just recently. So even though I'm a huge fan of Ascendance of a Bookworm, I hadn't dedicated my time to actually starting to read it. So I have now begun. I'll say right off the bat, I think going forward, I don't think I'll keep with the manga, only because I feel like it's not necessary for me, because I've already watched the anime and I like the light novel. So I think if I continue buying it, I'm gonna just go with the light novel. They're very short. Like, the light novel is very light and easy to digest. Not only that, but since I was familiar with the anime, I just held that the wrong way. Even though the light novel is light. Brain, kick in. It was easy to go through because I have experience with the story. So a lot of it I was kind of looking for, what are the differences and what do I remember happening or not. But most of it is all pretty well covered. I mean, I think that Ascendance got a very, very good anime adaptation, like very good. And the manga adaptation is nice too. I mean, it's cute. I just don't know that I would want to keep buying, especially with, how short they are. This whole thing. If I'm already getting one, I don't know that I want the other. Actually, also just came to this conclusion about Haunted Bookstore, which I tried volume 1 of the manga, and I think I just want to stick with the light novel. And if there's an anime, like, I don't mind watching the anime adaptation, but I don't know if I want shelves full of both of the series. I think I'd rather just stick to one adaptation, and I think I'm going to go with the light novel. I'll quickly show this and then I'll talk more. So like here's the manga adaptation, and this is, I believe, the part where mine had made the hair shampoo, and so they were trying that out. And it's beautiful. It's well done. I would recommend this if people are better with visual content, like manga, rather than the full written light novel. Yeah, go ahead and start here. I think that that's a fine choice. It's very well done. The artwork's beautiful. I think that you'd have a good time with it. That's my take on this. I think it's very well done. I don't know if I need to go over the story again. Should I? Ascendance of a Bookworm. Let me explain the back here. Dive into this biblio-fantasy written for book lovers and bookworms. A certain college girl who's loved books ever since she was a little girl dies in an accident and is reborn in another world she knows nothing about. She is now mine, the sickly 5-year-old daughter of a poor soldier. To make things worse, the world she's been reborn in has a very low literacy rate, and books mostly don't exist. She'd have to pay an enormous amount of money to buy one. Mine resolves herself. If there aren't any books, she'll just have to make them. Her goal is to become a librarian. This story begins with her quest to make books so she can live surrounded by them. Very, very good story. Ascendance of a Bookworm. I'll do anything to become a librarian. This is Part 1, Daughter of a Soldier, Volume 1. The author is Miyakazuki. The illustrator is Yoshina. I liked that this gave a little bit more of a lens to her past life, in which we discovered that, yes, obviously she loved books, and she was in university to become a librarian, and had just gotten a job, if I'm not mistaken, at the college university, and she was coming home one night with her childhood friend and neighbor, who I really want more of that story, because there's like a side like ending story here that's about them, and it was really sweet and also made me a little sad that, anyway, they're coming home, and I don't remember, was there an earthquake? Am I remembering this correctly? But obviously she loved books so much, she had a lot of books in her home, and tragedy strikes, the books fall and crush her, and yeah, she ends up dying and being reborn into Mine, who I guess gave up on her life. I still don't understand certain things with certain isekai. Like, I don't get why her self was pulled into Mine, because it's not like she's just born as Mine. Her soul migrates into Mine, and original Mine goes away, for lack of a better word, and she takes over really that body, and is able to access some of Mine's memories. Not that there's a lot, she's only 5, but is aware of herself and like what her past was. But when she awakens into this new life, you know, she's desperate for a book because she loves books, and comes to discover there are none. And her heart is broken. Her little book-loving heart is broken, which I would totally get to, because in my whole life, yeah, I've been surrounded by books, from children's books through, you know, adulthood. There's always been books around me. And we've had discussions about books, like it's always been a thing. So I can't imagine being reborn into a world where suddenly they're not a thing. And she's born into a lower class, so things seem inaccessible to her, and she sets about on a mission to create a book. And in the meantime, there are other things in this world. I was trying to think of a term for like what kind of world, but the more primitive, I guess, world, that she also misses from her original life in Japan. And like one of those is washing regularly and having shampoo. So she does develop a type of shampoo, which her family ends up using, but at first they think that she's crazy. They're like, what are you trying to do, wasting these materials that we could be using on something else, and like, this is useless. When they see how it works, then they're drawn into this world, and they're like, oh, wash my hair too. And come to discover like the benefits of whatever Mine is doing. But they also think that she's weird, because why is she talking the way that she is? Like, she's using some words they don't recognize, and she just ends up like trying to develop tools and systems that are not known in that world. Some are not relating to books. Like, she has her dad craft a hair pick, like stick, I should say, hair stick, so she can pin her hair back a little. She is, though, mostly dedicated to the whole book thing. So like, she tries different forms of making books, weaving materials together, trying clay, and she's not having the greatest success with everything that she tries to do. Either her family inadvertently destroys it, or just doesn't understand what she's doing, or it's taking much more materials than she originally hoped that it would. She's not really willing to give up, though. Like, she keeps trying and keeps trying and keeps trying. But Mine's body is very frail. She's been sickly, but also, you know, she's only 5, so there's only so much she can do, and she does get very frustrated often about things that she's not able to do. I'm trying to think of where this leaves off. I really liked the side story here, The Unchanging Daily Life. That's the one I was talking about, that covers Urano and her childhood friend. I want more of that, but also it makes me really sad because she's not in that world. Unless like this ends in one of those situations where like she was in a coma or something and gets pulled back to her other life. I don't think the series is over. I can't imagine it's gonna do that. It ends with the epilogue being about part of Mine's illness and how the mana in her is building too much, and then then she feels sick, and how that could lead to her death. So that is where it ends, because that is part of it, is that whole system. The thing I'm not sure of is, did Urano coming into mine have anything to do with that whole mana thing? Or was that something that mine was already experiencing? And that is why she was sick and then was going to die. That's the part I'm not sure of, but there is like mana in her that builds up, and then she ends up getting sick from it. And so she needs to learn ways to like not do that, which will come into later volumes if the anime is anything to go by, which I'm sure it is. So we're going to start to see reasons about like why other things will start moving, but also might be good for mine and her quest to get 2 books or make a book. So it'll all work out, I'm sure. Here's some of the light novel interior work. Let me hide myself. Hopefully it'll focus there. Which is interesting. Like the light novel artwork isn't as beautiful as the manga artwork, but it's okay. That picture, by the way, was like her getting mad at the other kids because they ruined her plan for making some of the book material. Anyway, this is a really good story, especially if you are a book lover. If you love books, this is for you. Obviously, I do, and you know, getting books into people's hands is what I do for a living. Like, I'm sorry, Urano and / mine, I took your job, but it is heartwarming to see this kind of thing reflected in a book. That's weird. But, you know, showcasing the importance of books, seeing the importance of books and their stories, you know, reflected here in another story, which is Inception? I don't know. It's just really good. I think if you are in the profession of book marketing in one way or another, whether you're a librarian like me or whether you're actually into like book sales, and even what I do here, which is more just hobby based, like trying to recommend and getting books to people who like them, I think that you can value stories like this that are really kind of showing the importance of this whole system. Books are a reflection of who we are as a people. And I think honestly one of the best things of the Anthropocene is books and our creativity. Books is just one aspect of our creativity. Obviously also love like plays and music and all of that stuff is really, I think, the best part of humanity. It really shows who we are. Yes, some books may be seen as better than others, but in general, like just the whole way that we seek out trying to communicate with one another is the beauty of it. Even if sometimes the content can't be agreed upon by all, the whole point and mission of them, I think, can be. And the reflection of them as part of who we are, we being the human element in general, is pretty amazing. And I like seeing it reflected here in this lovely little story. And I can't wait to continue on with it. There's many volumes of Ascendance to date. So it's probably going to take me a while to invest in more of them, even though I like them so much. But it's kind of intimidating when I see so many volumes. Whereas if I start and there's only the one volume, I don't feel as bad. Like, that seems weird, but like going on. But we'll see. I do have just a soft spot in my heart for this series, and so I do plan to continue. And that's it for this video. Until next time, bye.